Fire starters are fun to make, practically free, give you a fast fire, have zero waste, and keep you warm and cuddly. You are looking at a bag of fat. Yes, this is beef fat. I'm going to cut it up into little pieces and I'm going to make tallow out of it. Tallow makes great candles. In fact, used to be all the time people used beef fat tallow. Turns out fat is pure energy. You can melt it and it will give you fire. I got mine from the local farmer's market and it only cost me $4.44 for 10 pounds. Ooh, yeah. Into that fat, I am going to melt paraffin. I believe in using everything to the last drop, so I save partially used and almost completely used candles. I go to garage sales, I go to thrift stores, I grab them from friends who no longer want them. Yes, oh yes, I save that wax. It's the zero waste lifestyle, baby. Ooh yeah. I'm gonna need a ladle and a slotted spoon. I'm gonna need a heat-safe measuring cup. I'm gonna need a crock pot. I'm gonna need a saucepan, a heat source, like a stove, cooling racks, oh yeah, and wax paper or parchment paper, oh yes, and eggshell cartons. Lots and lots of dryer lint. Oh, baby, organic materials that burn like garlic skins, confetti, pieces of cloth. Oh, we can also use cut up corn husks and even wax paper. Oh, yeah. The wicks, we need to find something that looks like wood, but it's thin. I think used matchsticks will be great. I could also use twigs from outside. I might even use these garlic stems or these toothpicks. Be creative. You'll find something that works. I have magic for cleanup. All I need is heat, a flat spatula, some paper towels, and a flat baking pan. Place a 1/4 cup of water into the bottom of your crock pot and turn it on to low. I repeat, low. Get a big knife and cut all 10 pounds of that fat up into 1-inch cubes and stick it in the crock pot on, I repeat, low. It's gonna take hours for that beef fat to melt into liquid tallow, so I keep mine on overnight. I wake up in the morning and it's ready for the candles. When you lift the lid in the morning, there might be some crackling still left in there, little pieces of skin, a tissue that didn't fully melt. Just take that slotted spoon and dig them out of there. Give them to your dog or throw them in their skillet for some scrambled egg extra flavor. Next, we're going to throw into that hot, boiling tallow the candles that we have saved. Oh, yeah, we're just going to throw them in there and they will melt like the Wicked Witch of the West. You can see in the picture, I even threw in a small votive. The glass will just become completely empty when I pull it out. I had a candle that was too big to fit in the crock pot, so I'm sticking it in a saucepan with 2 inches of water. You could use your double boiler if you have one of those fancy things. This thing will melt, and then we can pour it over the fire starters. We're gonna make some magic. Get that parchment paper underneath those drying racks. It will create a magical space that can clean up like all the best witches in the world. The boiling wax is almost ready to pour. It's time to prepare the egg cartons. We fill them with the combustible material. We put the dryer lint in. We put the shredded paper, the confetti, the pieces of wax paper. And finally, we consider the wicks. The trick to a good wick is to stab it deeply into the dryer lint and then twist it. The twist will wrap around the wooden stake and hold it safely until we pour the molten wax. Be careful, my little pretty. The molten wax is hot. You must be careful to protect your hands as you pour from the crock pot into the egg cartons. You pour the molten wax all over the wick and the dryer lint, filling each cell up to completion. Make sure that you take the wax from the saucepan as well. Cover it deeply. Make sure every dry particle, especially the wick, gets covered with the wax. Before we can light the fire, we must clean our space. To do this, we pull out the magical flat baking pan. Put on it the drying racks and the utensils, everything that got wax upon it. Then put the baking pan into your oven at about 200 degrees for 15 minutes or so. The heat will magically drip every bit of wax and fat off the utensil onto the pan. We then simply take a paper towel and wipe off the pan. No water, no soap necessary. It's completely heat sensitive. Ah, be still, my heart. Look at those beautiful dried globs of wax and fat. Ah, we must keep them. No waste in this world. No, no, no. we take our flat spatula and we scrape them carefully off of the wax paper, put them in a pile and look at the beautiful colors. Ah, yes, we save them for the next time we need to make some starters. To finally clean the very last bits that may still remain on the counter, we will use some heat. The power of a heat gun or even a hairdryer will melt them, and they can then be wiped up ever so easily with our paper towel. It's time to test our creation. We tear off one of the cells. Yes, the starter is ready to be used. All right, let's start this urban permaculture fire. Let's see here. Let's go in and go to our fire starter and light the wick. And just to be on the good side, let's go ahead and see if we can light a little bit of the paper too. Alrighty. So there we've got it. It's a-going.